I'm going to have problems with you since they're all evens, but I will talk about some, so you might make notes here. On number 10, you're supposed to make a line graph. If you want to get more credit, yeah, you have to. You don't mind getting no credit, I guess. So the smallest number is -4, the biggest number is 2.5, so you probably want to go at least from -4 to 3. How about the trickiest one is C. Do you guys remember graphing points? That's open, isn't it? Is it closed? It looks so good. It's mostly open. Okay. So who can tell me how would we figure out where -4/3 is? -4/3, yeah.
Can we change it to a decimal?
Okay, how could we change it to a decimal?
4 divided by 3.
Yeah. Or you could think of it as a mixed number. 4 divided by 3 is what? How many times does 3 go into 4?
1.
What's the remainder of? And it's a negative, so make sure you put it on the negative side. So -1 1/3 should be closer to -1 than it is to -2. Okay. Number 16, it says find the length and the midpoint. It's been a while since we've done this, beginning of last week. Can anybody tell me, raise your hand, how do we find the length between, I'll make up a couple numbers, okay, so don't use this. How do we find the length from this point to this point? Yeah.
Add them and then divide them by 2.
You're thinking of the midpoint. That's the midpoint. But did you guys hear what he said? Because we do need to do the midpoint also. So to find what's in the middle, you add them and divide by 2. Okay, don't write that down. That's not the answer. I just made those numbers up. Okay, that's the midpoint. So that is like half of it. But the other half is how do we find the distance? How do we find the length from -7 to 15?
Add the absolute values.
Kind of. Okay, you subtract. That's how you find the distance. But when you subtract, if you did like 15 minus -7, that's like adding, right? When you have a minus negative. Yeah, if you subtract in the opposite order, so that would be 22 would be the length. If you subtract backwards, you get -22. And yeah, you need to make it positive. A distance should not be negative. Okay, you guys recall that? So those are not the right answers, but that's how you do number 16. What is anything to the 0 power equal to?
1.
1. How do you divide a fraction?
You change the.
You flip the right one, the second one, and then you multiply. For 36 through 42, it's order of operations. 34, we only got one of those in there. Kind of wish we'd done all of them. So on 34, when it says multiply, what should we do with the exponents? Add. So those first two exponents should be added. Then it says divided. What should we do with that exponent? Subtract. You guys got it? So you should add the first two. And it says leave an exponential form. So your answer should be 4 to the something. You guys recall that? And if we were doing 35, it would have been a multiply the exponent situation. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough to get you going. Why don't you guys go ahead and work on that? Just the evens. I'll walk around and make sure we're doing the right ones. And sometimes people can't help but do the odds. Yeah, you might want to number your page like 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10, 12, 14, 16. Just to make sure you don't do the odds. Okay.